That's the eagle that we see quite often. It's your Wahlberg's eagle. Not a very large bird relative to some of the other species. If you look at something like a Marshall eagle, it will be almost twice that size. Beautiful raptor, and this is the sort of more typical color for them. You also get them in lighter and darker forms, almost like a very light colored beige sometimes. There's one around this area that we see like that, and they can also go very, very dark. Not quite black, but incredibly deep brown. And this is your more typical color, that yellow on the beak there, or the cere as such, sort of bridge of the nose if you want, and the yellow feet, the characteristics of the Wahlberg's eagle. Pardon. And also the feathers, right down to the foot there's feathers. So that again shows you that it's a true eagle. It looks amazing. A little bit of thin cloud layer in the background still, which is why it looks so white or so contrasty almost. All those lichens on the brown, perfect perch for an eagle. I'm just going to watch him for a little bit more. It's such a fantastic view of him. Alex, a little bit of your water around. Seen something of interest. Just look at how he's looking. Obviously, very, very good eyesight. Your eagles, an eyesight that we can't even really imagine. Some studies and research have given us ideas of how they see, but they can see very, very far and in detail. I mean, something that we wouldn't even be able to make out, they can see detail of at a distance. Look at the sunlight catching him now. That slight change in the color on his chest. Sun just climbing higher slowly. Beautiful birds. Also, like a lot of eagles, they're monogamous. So you see them in pairs most of the time. African hawk eagles, even the way they hunt, they work together, normally one flying a little bit higher up, another one flying slightly back and lower, and then the one is sort of distracting the prey species and the other one can then swoop in and get the benefit of catching them. I think they're coming for a drink, so we'll sit nice and tight, see if they come down. You see that sort of stripy, speckled chest, yellowish eye, beautiful birds, one of my favorite raptors. Just while we're waiting for this bird to hopefully come down for a drink, we'll have a look around the waterhole a bit as well. Like I said, a very tranquil, peaceful setting, beautiful leadwood tree that bird is sitting in. It's just nice and quiet. Not really any wind out, you can see the water is perfectly still. Exactly sure what this one is. I thought it was African black duck at first, like a juvenile maybe. I'm just going to make sure quickly, but Good little paddle around. Actually, I'm a little bit confused by this bird, but I think it's because it's a young animal. Always when I look at them swimming like that, I just imagine those little feet paddling under the water. The binos here as well. Something else I want to have a look at. Alex, if you look very carefully just here in the sedges here in front, there's a spider sitting. Look at that, such a beautiful scene. Where is the spider? Spider is go a bit wider quickly. Let's go a little bit wider quickly so I can just see more. Okay, and it is just there. Sorry, do you mind going out a little bit again? Sorry, I want to mess you around. It's just, I really like the setting of that. It's like I said, the tranquility of this water is really catching me. Just look at the beautiful plumes on those sedges. The soft sort of soapy white reflection of the water. And this is a pretty good spot for a spider to have its web on. It's right next to the water, so lots of insects will come and go. Unless a big herd of buffalo come through or a herd of elephant, the web should be pretty safe as well. Not many things are going to be walking through that area. Very, very colorful spider. You can have a closer look now if you want, Alex. Thanks, man. Sorry, I really like the sedges there. Those are those long reed-like things in the foreground that the spider is sitting on at the moment. Sedge grass, obviously because it's growing right on the bank of the water. It's also growing nice and tall. I've mentioned this a few times. I'll probably mention a few times more over the next few days, because we've only started seeing these golden orb spiders in the last couple of days, let's say in the last week or so. It's interesting to see that most of them are still very skinny. If you look at this female again, the females are very much larger than the males, I mean, literally 1,000 times or so bigger than the males. We'll point out a male at some stage or another. They're just normally quite difficult to see because they're so small. The female is very big, very, very colorful and beautiful, like you can see on this one. But just notice that abdomen, that back part. She's sitting facing downward at the moment. Her head is pointing straight down. So that whole area towards the back of her body with those sort of double yellow spots in it, that's the abdomen. Think of it as the belly. There's more going on in there than just the stomach, but think of it as that. Now, over the next few weeks and next few months, as we keep watching these guys, you'll see them getting bigger and bigger. And you'll see that abdomen getting very large. A very healthy sort of golden orb spider that's eating quite often. That abdomen will become the same size as a thumb. So they will still get very, very large. Other benefit also is that they stay in pretty much the same area. So maybe in a week or so, in a few days, we'll come back to the same spot and we'll have a look around in these sedge grasses again, and we should be able to see the same female. Maybe on a new web, but the same female nonetheless.